about hair is that heat changes the shape of hair and coolness sets it in. So maybe you went rock and roll during the day and maybe you want to be a little retro at night. So we'll change the sensibility of this. Again, think about what you're doing before you do your hair. So maybe we'll add a little bit more heat protection. It's also nice just to kind of give the hair a little bit of moisture because you're essentially reshaping a disulfide bond or a salt bond that's in the hair overall. So adding a little bit of water or moisture helps to ensure that you're actually going to be able to reshape it, as well as utilizing the heat to make sure that it definitely gives you what it is that you're looking for. So a little bit of that heat protection spray, which is super light, is great. And then to give it a little bit more of a retro wave, I'm just going to take sections, working again along that diagonal as I go down. This is a little bit more than a 1 inch. And for that retro and polish, I'm going to slide up and go all the way down to the end, like so. And I'm just going to do a little clip set. Don't try too hard. Perfect hair freaks me out. The reason perfect hair freaks me out is that when every single hair is in place, you start to look either like a beauty pageant queen or a doll. And that's not human. You become not touchable almost. And that's off-putting to whatever gender is looking at you to be the object of your affection. And isn't that really what we do this for? To make ourselves look and feel good so that we also might look and feel good to somebody else? I love a good pin curl set. It's always fun. It's very easy to do. Because literally you're just curling the hair itself, bringing it down on top of itself, and then clipping it in and letting it go. Allowing it to cool and then brushing it through. So it creates this really beautiful sensibility, and it really does show that you put effort into the hair and your look, but it's really not that hard. The thing that's important to me about my curling iron is that it has a heat adjustment temperature, so I know exactly what heat is going in towards the hair. I generally use something that's a little bit higher of a setting, and I keep it moving. As you can tell, it's not sitting in one specific spot for too long, because it really does go through and helps to compress down that cuticle layer so it releases the beautiful shine that you're looking for, which is also why the shampoo is important and all of the other things, especially when you're doing something like this, which is a beautiful set. I leave these little elements of it out too. Anyway, keeping a good heat to it, but keeping it moving, again, compresses that cuticle layer so you get a great reflective quality to it. Using a higher heat and keeping it moving is much better than using a lesser heat and holding it on the hair for a longer period of time, because you're gonna do more damage because it's staying there longer than you would if you just slide through it and give it that first blush or rush of heat. So after this cools down, which we're not doing the entire head, but you get the idea, you just drop the curls, like so. Start from the bottom and work our way up. Once they've cooled, I like to start from the bottom and work my way up because it's usually a little bit easier to kind of like get into it, essentially. And then release. Sort of like working with tangles, working tangles out. You start at the bottom and work your way up as opposed to brushing down into the tangle, because then it kind of creates a knot at the end. Lightly spray the hair, like so. And then I'm just going to integrate the wave. Now you can also bring all of this together by doing sections like so, like slices, and just backcombing underneath ever so slightly. And it helps to kind of like lock the wave in a little bit to these different little sections. And it makes the hair somewhat more moldable because you've backcombed it almost like a memory into the hair, or a base into the hair itself. Do a little mist with hairspray. That coming underneath basically tells the hair, you guys belong together. So it has this beautiful soft sensibility. If you want to go really retro, you can do very fun things like a 40's little roll up like that. And that's a different retro. It just depends on what your sensibility is. Dragging it forward around the face, like that, and integrating these waves like so, makes it a little bit more Veronica Lake-esque. Just shaping it with your hands. And if you really want to lock it in, you can also just do little pins, little clips. And just work it in together like so. And that's what a set does for you, is that it creates a moldable, pliable texture to the hair that you lock into place. Don't forget the baby hairs. These are really important elements and details. You can even go through with, like, we have the Set Me Up texture wax, and just kind of like go through those little areas, and you can hit them with like either something like a texture wax or even hairspray on an old toothbrush, and just go in there and really get those little baby hairs by the hairline, and it really helps to dress in a very specific and special way. But you can really see how the set locks that look into place and gives you that beautiful wave. Like so. Very retro and very glam. And very easy.